Hello Libra, what would you say if I told you that 2025 could be the biggest financial turning point you've had in the last 12 years? Here's the thing, not every Aquarius experiences financial luck the same way. Some rise easily by aligning themselves with Jupiter's cycles. Others keep repeating the same mistakes and end up blaming fate. If you're hoping to earn more, live more abundantly, or at the very least escape the feeling of having money but never keeping it, there's one truth you need to understand. Your birth date reveals more than you think. Astrology doesn't tell you who will be rich or poor, but it does show you when the universe gives a green light for wealth to flow into someone's life, or when someone's finances will quietly run dry. Money is a terrible master but an excellent servant. Money only becomes scary when it controls you, but if you know how to take charge, it will work for you, not against you. Following up on previous videos about the millionaire birthday clusters of Aquarius, I will now walk you through the financial fortunes of 3 specific Aquarius birthday groups, their financial habits that may lead to repeated failure, their exact astrological patterns in 2025, key financial risks to avoid, and the timely actions to take. No vague advice, no superstition. Every piece of guidance will be tied to specific timings and behaviors to help you truly align with money's blessings. This isn't a video about getting rich quick. It's a financial destiny roadmap made just for you if you genuinely want to change your fortune in 2025. So listen closely and stay with me until the end. Let's begin with the first group, Aquarius born from January 20 to January 26. You're intelligent, highly intuitive, and you know it. But because you're so aware of your uniqueness, you often set the expectation, if I'm going to do something, I must do it my way and it has to surpass everyone else. What you fear isn't poverty. It's being lumped in with people who just work for money. Your deeper fear is losing your identity, being assimilated, becoming a small cog in a machine you don't believe in. But here lies the contradiction. You still want recognition, you still want wealth, you just don't want to trade your freedom to get it. Your way of making money usually stems from intuition, ideas that are ahead of the market, from perspectives no one else sees. You're great at spotting potential, positioning differently, creating waves, but you struggle to sustain long-term rhythm. You dislike repetition, you resist monotony, so you often walk away just as your model begins to generate stable returns. You don't spend to show off, but you often invest emotionally. Once you see a vision, you go all in. Then, when you lose interest, you leave it there. And you almost dislike being taught how to manage finances. You believe if freedom is something worth preserving, then money should flow freely as well. In 2025, Jupiter will square Uranus, your ruling planet, creating intense friction between your urge to expand and your instinct to resist all limitations. Jupiter will activate your 4th and 10th houses, meaning inner conflict will arise between building a sustainable career and the feeling of being trapped, uninspired if you follow a conventional path. You'll be offered financial opportunities starting mid-year, but if you keep shifting directions every 2-3 months, you'll miss the true breakthrough in Q4. This is a year where you don't need to do more, you need to stay in the game longer. Your financial risk stems from your own intelligence. Because you think fast, you tend to believe there's always a better option, so instead of maintaining momentum, you pivot. You break your own systems, underrate progress, just because it no longer feels exciting. And when you see others succeed, even if they're not as smart, you don't get jealous, but you quietly feel disappointed. That should have been me. Your financial solution this year isn't about learning more. It's about accepting intentional repetition. 1. Choose a single money-making model that's working, even if it's not glamorous, and set a monthly reinvestment plan. No changes for at least 6 months. 2. Create an automatic system to retain money. Separate emotions from your bank account because you make better financial decisions when not driven by novelty. 3. Start viewing results as a slow curve, not a spark of fire, but glowing embers that keep you warm. Because financial strength comes from steady models, not flashy ideas. If you were born between January 20 and 26, pay close attention to November 2025. This is a pivotal moment for financial activation. But it will only happen if, starting from May, you don't change direction. Don't measure progress by how interesting it feels. Measure it by how consistent it is. Because for this group, wealth doesn't come from breakthroughs, but from holding the rhythm longer than your nature prefers. So, which group do you belong to? Don't just watch passively, drop your birthday in the comments. You might find others on the same financial path, and together you can share how to ride the financial waves of 2025. Group 2, Aquarius, born from January 27th to February 2. You're someone who dislikes noise, dislikes showing off, and doesn't care to prove yourself. But don't be mistaken. Inside you is a non-stop engine of thought, constantly analyzing, constantly monitoring, always scanning for every possible scenario. Your greatest fear isn't a lack of money. It's being dependent, being caught off guard, losing control over your life. You don't say it out loud, but you're always quietly planning for the worst, making sure that even if you lose everything, you still have a way out. Your financial behavior is highly controlled. You're not quick to invest, slow to trust, and reluctant to let go. You tend to keep money for defense, for worst-case scenarios, rather than allowing it to flow and generate returns. You work hard, persistently, and can shoulder many roles, but that's exactly why you often find yourself in the situation of being exhausted, but not wealthier. You dislike debt, dislike being dependent, and sometimes you don't even like asking for help. In 2025, you'll be under the influence of Saturn, the planet of discipline, responsibility, and structure, which forms a supportive trine with Mars mid-year. This opens a powerful phase of execution. If you can build a smart financial system, money will follow you. You won't have to chase it. Your second and sixth houses will be activated, suggesting that steady income through work, service, and supportive systems can rise significantly if you reorganize your workflow. This year, you don't need to do more, you need to do it differently. Your financial risk comes from trying to juggle too much without optimizing any of it. You're used to the mindset of, I'll just do it myself to make sure it's right. So you don't believe in delegation, sharing, or building self-operating systems. The more you try to control, the more tired you become. The more exhausted you are, the less strategic thinking time you have. And so the cycle continues, doing more, preserving some, but never expanding. 3 specific actions for you this year. 1. Reorganize your entire personal cash flow. Clearly separate the streams: fixed, flexible, investments, and savings. No more lumping everything together. 2. Choose one job, project, or income source with potential for scaling and build the simplest system to run it. The less it depends on you, the better. 3. Learn to let go of what you're carrying just because you're afraid others might mess it up, because what you're sacrificing is irreplaceable time and energy. If you're born between January 27 and February 2, pay special attention to June and July 2025, when Mars forms a supportive aspect, offering a breakthrough in income if you've already built your system beforehand. But if by that time you're still juggling everything without a clear strategy, your cash flow won't increase, and you'll just enter another cycle of fatigue. Group 3. Aquarius, born from February 3 to February 18. You live by intuition, you make decisions quickly, and most of the time they're right. But what throws you off course isn't lack of knowledge, it's emotion. Your hidden fear isn't poverty, it's having money and still feeling empty. You often ask yourself, why am I doing this? And if you can't find meaning, you'll walk away, even from something profitable. You earn money in flow mode. When inspiration hits, you go all in, brilliantly, powerfully, efficiently. But when the spark fades, you can drop everything, disappear, go silent for weeks. You don't calculate every detail like the previous group. You're flexible, trend-sensitive, and can ride the wave of what's next. But you're also prone to blurring financial boundaries, helping out, contributing, sharing resources, just because you trust people. Sometimes you invest both your time and money into spiritually healing projects, forgetting that you also need protection. In 2025, you're supported by Venus and Mercury consistently, especially from August to October. Uranus's placement in your third house sparks bright ideas, helping you generate income through education, sharing, healing, content creation, arts, and mental well-being. This is your time to do what you love and earn from it, but only if you draw boundaries between work and emotion. Venus brings partnership opportunities, but if you let trust override structure, you'll lose more than you gain. Your financial risk lies in melting boundaries. You're generous, kind, helpful, and also likely to overextend yourself because you're afraid to say no. You often juggle everything at once, writing, creating, caring for family, supporting friends, but overlook the hidden cost of burnout. And sometimes you reject obvious opportunities just because they don't feel right, even if others see them as guaranteed wins. 3 concrete actions for 2025. 1. Write a list of all the things you're doing because you care, or don't want to say no, and cut at least 30% of them. 2. Create a workspace that separates emotions. If you're in a creative field, set fixed hours and treat it with discipline. 3. Revalue yourself. You don't have to give away everything for free to be loved. When you attach clear pricing to your value, people will respect your energy more. If you're born from February 3 to 18, keep a close eye on September 2025. This is the peak time for collaboration, creative breakthroughs, and income growth tied to personal value. But if you haven't redefined your boundaries by June, then September may feel overwhelming and draining instead of the financial breakthrough it could be. If any part of this video made you feel like, wait, that sounds exactly like me, you don't need to react right away, but save the video because in a few weeks, you'll understand why that moment needed to come back right now. In the end, you don't need to be the most strategic person. You don't need to change your soft, deep, and gentle nature either. But you do need one thing: to hold on to the strength that once helped you survive the days when you had nothing, and bring that same strength into how you manage your money, protect your efforts, and value yourself. What you gave away in the past was never lost. It's coming back to you in another form if you are calm enough to receive it, instead of continuing to carry the weight of everything. You don't need to do more. You only need to start with the thing you've always postponed because you feared that success would force you to change who you are. Trust me, you won't lose anything. You're simply stepping closer to the version of yourself you've always longed to live as, free, fulfilled, and true to your real worth. 3 birthdate groups. 3 different financial blueprints. No one is better than the other, only those who understand themselves sooner. If you were born from January 20 to 26, your challenge is to overcome the trap of "there's always a better option" and learn to maintain your rhythm long enough to see the money flow in. If you were born from January 27 to February 2, your challenge isn't to work more, it's to let go at the right moment so the system you've built has a chance to operate. And if you were born from February 3 to 18, your financial breakthrough comes when you learn to say no in the right places, set boundaries at the right times, and stop pricing yourself based on emotion. All 3 groups share one common truth: money will come if you stop chasing it like something you must have, and instead start adjusting the patterns that have kept you stuck in a loop you haven't even realized you're in. Here's the final question for you. If you could change just one thing about how you currently handle money, what would help you stay true to your nature and become more prosperous in 2025? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Who knows, maybe your answer will awaken someone else who's been searching for direction. Subscribe to the channel and share this video with another Aquarius. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.